Hello and welcome to Cave 623. We wanted to break down what Cave 623 actually, why it came about, how it came about. So the acronym, the CAVE, CAVE, C stands for commitment to change, and A stands for authenticity, so being your authentic self. The V stands for values alignment, and the E stands for energy and working to keep positive energy in your life. And then the 6 stands for our six senses and learning to ground and the importance of grounding techniques. The 2 stands for unity, and both like masculine feminine energies as well. And then the 3 is like a third eye perspective as well as a higher power, and recognizing the importance of those in your life. And yeah, we're very excited about Cave 623, and it's something that as we have been working to kind of build this, it's been a very fun process to this point. So
Yeah. So Ty wrote a book. It's Mirror Speaks. This is volume 1. And it's about turning pain to motivation. So today we're going to be kind of drilling Ty today on his new book. And hopefully you enjoy the show today. So first question, babe. What made you write a book?
well, I had a certain wife tell me I needed to do so. So yeah, that's
Because
what
he's
led to
awesome.
it. That was very kind.
And well, so break it down more than that. There is more to the story that you felt like that was kind of an impossible task at first, right? Like, haha, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see me sitting down with a notebook and a pencil and writing an entire book, but she kind of probed me or told me a few ways, prompted me. I guess would be a better word than probe, but she told me a few different ways that authors write, and some authors write with the notebook and the pen. Other authors write with their laptops. Other authors like speak their books. And so when she kind of provided that option as an option, I was like, I might be able to do that, speak my book, And so I took her up on her challenge and ended up, 16 chapters later, I had written a book. So, but the way we decided to kind of present the book to the world is just one piece at a time, and so because we feel each chapter has its own way of solving things and helping, and so I thought we'd break it down into each chapter into its own kind of mini series and its own mini books.
Yeah, so it's very exciting. So it's each version. This is volume 1, is based on this concept of mirror work. So
Absolutely.
talk to us about mirror work. What does that mean?
I think mirror work is like ultimate accountability. I think it allows you to look at yourself in the mirror and all different kind. We do it anyway. We look at ourselves in the mirror anyway, and as far as when you're getting ready in the morning or whatnot, but there's also this self-talk that kind of goes on when you look at yourself in the mirror. And so that's based, there's a lot of accountability that can take place when you are able to use the mirror as a technique, using it as a way of moving your life forward. And there was an interesting concept that happened to me a while back that started the whole idea of the mirror work, and it's happened to be one of the sickest times I was in my life. I was super sick. I was exhausted from working a lot, and I had looked over in the mirror, and I just didn't like what I saw, and I felt like I was so far away from the person that I truly wanted to be, and so that was, I think the mirror has a way of speaking truth to you as well, and not sugarcoating anything. You know, when you look in the mirror and you don't have energy and you're exhausted, it will tell you the truth. You know, so that kind of sparked an idea for this book, and so I feel like it was kind of a change in my life at that point when I had looked at myself in the mirror that day, and I just looked like I was about to die, really. I just had no energy, and so I knew I needed to make a change, and I had to commit to a change. So that's why I feel so strongly about Cave 623 and the concept of Cave 623, because the first, the C, the first part of the cave is committing to change, and I think that all of us are in an evolution of our own all the time, and there's times where we are more committed than others, and I would say when you reach your best growth is usually when you commit to something and stick to it until you finish it. And so
and often the commitment, we often don't give ourselves that until the pain hurts enough.
Right.
That's one of the fallacies of man, is that self-discipline is the best form of self-love, yet we don't give ourselves that, right? And we don't change until the pain gets strong enough. But why wouldn't we do that the opposite? Why wouldn't we just stay on track the whole time, right? Well, that's the problem with living this 3D life. So the motivation here is pain, or the book is Pain to Motivation. And so when you looked in that mirror, you looked gray, you looked exhausted, you were overweight, you had said. You weren't in the physical shape that you wanted. You did not at that time have the relationship you wanted. And there was a lot of things in life that kind of just were hitting home for you.
Right.
And so that pain got strong enough that you're like, okay, I'm committed. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I had a choice to make, right? Like, I could either cash it in or go to work. And I think a lot of times cashing it in looks easier, but I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. I may have been low enough, I may have felt that way, but I knew I've got, kids that that need me. I've got, a life to live and a future. And I was young a little younger at the time to be cashing anything in, So I just thought to myself, I needed to make that change. And as far as like pain to motivation, a lot of times our pain will either motivate us or it won't, but I found a lot of healing and growth and evolution in turning my pain into motivation. And so this Pain to Motivation book is a little bit of an autobiography. It has a lot of my stories in it. It isn't just a straightforward book. It's definitely nonfiction. It's very real and honest. And so I hope it'll be a help to people, when they have gone through things that I've been through. I know one of the biggest challenges of my life was when my dad passed away, and that was a tough time for me. And that was right as I was trying to make this change, and so it could have been a setback for me to stop my change. But instead, I felt like my dad's passing was something that it actually fueled me to be better. I wanted him to be proud of me, but I also wanted to be proud of myself and what I was building, you know. And so even though that was one of the heaviest losses I've had in my life, was losing my dad, I didn't feel like I lost him all the way because of the spiritual aspect of still feeling his presence, still feeling, you know, what he left in this life was a legacy, and it's something that I wanted to leave as well, you know, and I knew I was nowhere close to leaving a legacy yet, but as we speak, we're doing it, you know, we're writing books, we're doing podcasts.
It's got amazing songs,
you know,
coming
writing
out.
songs,
New album coming out soon.
It's exciting because I'm not letting myself stop this time, you know. I'm gonna keep moving my life forward in the direction that I know I need to go, you know, and it's exciting. It's fun when you catch a vision of what your life could be, you know.
So let's talk about that whole concept, turning your pain into motivation. So there's so many of us get caught up in our pain, like in the victimhood of it, and we get stuck in that mindset. This happened to me, even if it happened years ago. You know, often that is the case. So what we went through happened years and years and years and years and years ago, but yet we still are living our lives as if we're living it right now. You know, we're living in our pain instead of moving beyond it. And we're stuck as victims in that pain. So talk to us about why, you know, this is something that you really want to try to do for yourself as well, is to move out of that victim mentality and into, you know, more like that empowerment of, you know, yeah, I went through all this. Yes, it sucks. Yes, I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that. And I may be dealing with the aftermath of it for a long time, but I don't have to let it keep me stuck.
Sure. I think this is where the E of the cave comes in to play, the energy, right? I needed a major energy shift in my life. And I put it to the test. I challenged myself day in and day out. I started to change the way I approached my day. I changed the little habits and then put it to the test and tried to see, okay, is this helping my energy or is it not? And I can promise you, if you will invest in yourself, you will have a change of energy. You'll have a change of heart. And the cool thing is, in the Pain to Motivation book, you know, I talked about, you know, 3 or 4 different heavy hitters in my life that I could, you know, where I experienced pain, and I could have just, you know, given up on all 3 of those times, but I didn't. That's just not what I wanted to do. It's not who I am, you know, and I don't think it's who any of us are, is somebody that just gives up and throws in the towel every time. And if you are, I'm challenging you right now, get up off the canvas and keep fighting, you know, and that's part of us evolving. That's part of us learning more about who we are, is getting ourselves up after we've been knocked down a few times, you know, and not allowing ourselves to lose, but get ourselves up and win, you know, and even if it's one moment, you know, that you win, could be one set of push-ups, at least you chose to do it, right? It could be a whole workout, and it could be 21 days of that workout, and then you turn that 21 days into 6 months. You turn that 6 months into a year, and pretty soon you've completely changed. And part of that, though, the only way that happens is if you're true to yourself, which is the A, the authenticity, you're true to who you are, you align your values with what you truly want. And that's the V part of the cave, is valuing yourself enough to make the change. And then, the C is really where it's at, is you've got to commit to it. You can't be half-assed about it. And if you are, you won't make it. You'll let the very next thing in your life stop you. Somebody will say something wrong to you and it'll offend you. It'll stop you, right? So you can either take offense or take action. There's either the victim or the creator. There's one or the other. You're not, your choices are based on that personality of deciding, hey, am I gonna give in or am I gonna, go to work? And it's important that you decide that for yourself now. If you're on the fence about making a change, or you're not sure if you should make a change, well, if your brain is thinking about, changing something, then there's probably something wrong. There's probably something that needs fixing. There's probably something that needs improving, evolving. So rather than putting it off, get to work. Put one small foot in front of the other. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Mine was very subtle changes. I started changing a little bit of my diet. I started changing the way I exercised. I started reading material that actually put my life on a course that was helpful. I started hanging around people that built me up instead of tore me down, and as I was going through the pain, even in my adolescence, I remember some of the first pains I went through. That's what I talked about a little bit in the book as well, is that the pain of your family, and how they might do something to put you down or make you feel less than, and it could be a sibling, it could be a mom or a dad. It doesn't matter who it is, but there's a life lesson in that. You can let it keep you down and be a victim the rest of your life, or you can make the change that is necessary for you to prove them wrong, prove yourself wrong, prove yourself right, that you can make the change. And it is, it's inside of all of us. Like, that's what's so beautiful, is you don't have to do anything crazy or different. It's just believing in yourself and getting started. I think that's the biggest thing. It's kind of like, anything, you have to get started.
Yeah, you stop reacting to what everybody else says and wants you to do, and you start being proactive with what you say for yourself and what you want to do and what goals you have and what is in alignment with yourself. And that's where that mirror work comes in, is that you look yourself in the mirror and say, who am I? Am I this person who's listening to all these people drag me down, and I'm reactive, running this way and that and that and that, pleasing, trying to, do what they all expect of me and to keep the peace and to make them happy. And this is the result it has gotten me, exhausted, burnt out, depressed, overweight, unhealthy, that's the reality of it. And am I going to keep being reactive to all those people, or am I going to take my power back and say that this that I'm seeing in the mirror right now is not me? I have gotten off track, and now it's time to get back on track, back to myself. And you start being the creator in your life. And that's what his book is about, and it's really cool. So
thank you, love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great read, and not only just this first part that we've broken down into the first little mini book, but he's got 16 of them, and they are all just really, really cool. And so we're excited to get them all out one by one. So, any last words you want to say about it, love? And we've got it's live on our website, cave623.com, and it's the first thing right on top. You can go get yourself a copy. And it's a quick, easy, power punch 15-minute read. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
Little bite-sized mini power punch, and it is great. And I'm excited that you're getting it out. I'm proud of you, love.
Hey, well, it wouldn't happen if if I didn't have. She was one of the people I had needed to add to my life in order for some of these evolutions to take place, but. It's nice when you have a relationship that's healing versus one that's destroying, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say to anybody out there that's listening to this podcast right now, like, take an inventory of your life. Just simply look at your life and say, okay, do I have what I want? Am I where I want to be in my life? And you can look at a lot of different aspects of your life, but I'm just going to have you just answer that simple question. Am I where I want to be? If you are not, read the book, take everything you can from it, and move your life. Start today. Don't waste another second, because you're worth it. Whoever's listening to this, you are a beautiful soul. Or you wouldn't have listened. You wouldn't keep listening. Right? You're a beautiful soul. You deserve better. And now's the time.
Awesome. All right, love.
All right.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.